I've invested in hundreds of entrepreneurs here in the state. The one characteristic people often ask me, my students at BYU ask me, Jeff, like what sticks out about the entrepreneurs you back? The one characteristic that I would say sticks out is they almost always have a bias towards action.
Hey, what's up, everybody? David Osmond here, the market president for Tribe House. And this time on Tribe House TV, I was able to sit down with Jeff Birmingham, who's the co-founder of Peak Capital and founder of Peak Ventures, among so many other things. Now, Jeff is a born entrepreneur, starting young and going broad, and always looking for the next thing. He had some fascinating things to say about business, dreams, valuing people, and how real wealth in life comes down to your relationships. Check this out.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Birmingham. I'm an entrepreneur, an investor, a failed politician running for governor in the state of Utah. I'm a teacher at BYU and podcaster as well. The co-founder of Peak Capital, which is a real estate private equity fund, owns about $5 billion of real estate. Founder of Peak Ventures, a venture capital firm here in Utah, and many other companies. I love entrepreneurship, always have. I grew up in Spokane, Washington, and I've kind of always been a self-starting entrepreneur. I remember one day at my home, I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and there was a knock on the door. I think I was busy doing homework. I was 13 years old, and I overheard a conversation between my mom and the knock of the door, and it was someone selling carpet cleaners door to door. And my mom said, thanks, but no thanks, close the door, and she came back in, and I said, Mom, buy that. Let's buy that machine. Can we buy it? Could we afford it? Let's buy that machine, and then I'll start cleaning carpets. Like our elementary school, Ponderosa Elementary School, go Wildcats, was right across the street from us. I had 5 younger siblings. We knew our dentist, our doctor. I'll go start cleaning carpets. And so anyway, somehow we got the salesperson to turn back around. My mom and dad were able to purchase the carpet cleaner. I paid them off over some time cleaning carpets. And that also paid for, I was a basketball player. I loved, when I was young, it was all about team sports for me. I was a point guard and a quarterback and loved football and basketball. I was on a comp travel basketball team. Being the oldest of 6 kids, my dad was a middle manager, engineer, great career, but things were tight. And so if I wanted to travel, if I wanted some new Jordans, I had to kind of do it myself. So that was kind of my first entrepreneurship story as a kid. And so growing up, who was I? I was an athlete, an entrepreneur, a friend. I loved to party and dance and have fun with all my friends growing up in Spokane. Really social. I was a really social kid. So maybe a gift I had since I was born, and or maybe my nature versus nurture. Maybe my parents inspired this in me, that I'll give them credit for this. I kind of just have always believed in myself. I believe that anything's possible. And by the way, it's not only myself, I believe in everyone else as well. I remember when Jeff, Jamie, and I started Peak Capital, we would sit in every hiring interview for the first, 20, 30, 50 people that we hired at our company. And almost invariably in every interview, I would start convincing or talking to the person we were trying to hire about, I would be like, you should just do this yourself. You should start your own business. Finally, Jeff and Jamie looked at me and were like, Jeff, we're trying to hire these people and you're convincing them to start their own business. And so anyways, I left the interviewing stage of my career and allowed Jeff and Jamie, my co-founders and partners, to do that. But I've just always believed in people. I've always believed that anything is possible. And so, Dave, I don't know. It's kind of the air I breathe. So it's hard for me to kind of pinpoint or say how this came about. It's who I am. The biggest failures have to do with people. I'm a type A entrepreneur. I've invested in almost every startup company, it feels like, here in Utah in the last decade, a lot of them. You could just go down I-15, see the buildings, and I've been one of the first investors in most of those companies. I've invested in hundreds of entrepreneurs here in the state. The one characteristic people often ask me, my students at BYU ask me, Jeff, like what sticks out about the entrepreneurs you back? The one characteristic that I would say sticks out is they almost always have a bias towards action. I actually think it's what I said, balancing relationships with results and understanding that it's the relationship that always is the result that we want most. As humans, we are wired for connection. And so really the most happy people, I think, have the most deep connections. So never sacrifice a business result or some pressing thing that you feel like you need for a relationship or for a person to love. I wish that I feel like I embody this now. I feel it, I know it. But this is something that I struggled from, my early 20s to mid 30s or late 30s probably was this balance of relationships with results. I wish I would have had this innate understanding when I was younger, and I wish I would have handled some things with people better. I think that's always the things that matter most, the things that bother us the most, always have to do with people. They have to do with relationships and maybe not bringing our best to a relationship.